In this video, I would like to discuss the truth about the goals of gang stalking. In a previous video, I discussed that many targeted individuals are free thinkers. Also, a lot of them are what we call truthers. There are whistleblowers put into this program. There are people considered anti-Semites put into this program, and people that are considered enemies of Jews, people who have disagreements with Jews and their business dealings, etc. And I think there are also just regular people that aren't exceptional in any way that are put in the program also. But I'd like to discuss the characteristics in common of these targeted individuals, because there's a lot to learn just by seeing who's targeted. The people targeted, many of them are, people that make decisions of caring for a certain issue. Whether they be free thinkers, truthers, or whistleblowers, or anti-Semites, or stern business people. These are all people that stand for something. These are all people that have made decisions to stick up for something, and they're not bending on it. They're gonna carry through and pursue their objective in the face of opposition with consequences to them, detrimental to their own position. They have the courage to back up their position, and when things are on the line, they stick to their guns, you could say. And these people generally are very highly intelligent. Many of them are very educated, and they're all go-getters. All the people that have above average characteristics, they're all go-getters. These are movers and shakers. These are people that get things done, and they know what they're doing. And that's important. These characteristics in common of many of these targeted individuals are important, because this is part of what gang stalking is about. And now I'd like to discuss, what could these people accomplish as a group. If these targeted individuals were pressured to focus on a certain issue, voluntary or involuntary, what could they accomplish? I mean, these are the kind of people that would really make a lot of changes if they wanted to. These are people that would make a decision to care about a certain issue, to focus on it. They'd organize themselves and possibly organize with others. They'd have a plan, an action plan. They'd carry it out. They'd have the discipline and the motivation and the energy to carry it out. These are not just run-of-the-mill regular people. These are people that are gonna, if there's some issue they're focused on, they're gonna get it done. And that's the kind of people that are getting put into this gang stalking program, okay? Regardless of maybe the original reason they're selected, or they believe they're selected, they're put in this program. They have some traits that are desirable. And within today's society, which is in the modern Western world, there's not a whole lot of people left that are really, going to take a stand on some issue and stick their guns. That's becoming more of an exception to the rule. And I think that's where the perps and the people running gang stalking understand that better than anyone else. And I think that's where this program, where it's headed as far as understanding it, is understanding how our society is now, and people that are go-getters and get things done, they're becoming more, in the face of extreme opposition, and most importantly, those people are becoming very rare. And so the gang stalkers, I think, want to recruit those people for their objective, and which leads to a plethora of gang stalking videos I've seen on the internet since 2013. I mean, back in 2010, when I first started dealing with this overtly, there was hardly any information that I could find on the internet concerning it. But now the internet's just chock full of this gang stalking stuff, and there's a reason for that. That's part of the agenda. These videos, I like to go over some of the characteristics of some of these videos I've been seeing. First thing, these videos are always giving you tips. I mean, they're always trying to give you tips on gang stalking. I mean, you'll have a person come out of the blue, out of nowhere, and start giving you tips on how to survive. I mean, it's common as day, and it's kind of funny. This person just becomes a gang targeted individual recently. Now they're giving tips to everybody. Yeah. And then you have these videos always encourage, a lot of them encourage the TI to tough it out and keep at it. And don't give up, don't fall in despair. Just keep at it, and which is the positive message. And also these videos discuss they're always wanting to discuss the high-tech component used by the perps, the high technology, the EEG scans, and sending signals to your brain and receiving signals from your brain, and satellite sending signals to people, and all this stuff, which is completely nonsense. And there's never any evidence. It's just conjecture based on old patents and that have been just brought up in these videos, and these videos jumble these old patents together with current technology, and they like to mix in comments concerning current research and design being done on in universities, usually on interacting with the human brain, and the human brain, if it has a some kind of like a mask put on the brain, put on a person's head with highly sensitive sensors that it can see an image that a person might be thinking of, and that is very interesting, but it has nothing to do with what's currently happening to targeted individuals on a day-by-day basis. And I think then this leads to the desired explanation that points to, and these videos also discuss this themselves, but they always say, well, it's the New World Order. We have the U.S. government and other government Western nations are involved in this, and therefore ultimately it's the New World Order that's the culprit. And these videos like to discuss that quite a bit. They eventually lead to it, and they say, well, all this technology and all these intelligence agencies and all these private contractors are all hired by the U.S. government to do this. But in my experience, and experience of many other people, it's not government agencies that do it. I mean, they can have government agencies track down a person that's been fingered for possible espionage or things like that, or some crimes, but in my experience, that didn't last too long, really, and it's not something that's not with you all the time. I mean, those people cost money, they're regulated, and it's a different thing. It's like a facade that the perps, the gang stalking international network, is blaming a government agency for something that really this international network is doing. But it's very well done. I think they're very well done, and they're very efficient at what they do. And when all the mentioned facts are analyzed that I discussed, they analyze as a program, a certain objective becomes clear. The perps want TIs to stop the surveillance security state that's developed in the Western world. And they want the TIs to be a grassroots army to promote privacy and regulations on the government surveillance state itself. In other words, see, what's happened with all this technology is that there's become more surveillance, particularly more cameras, motion sensors, different kinds of sensors that have been put in government buildings, put in private property, and that security industry that's being applied within society has really caused a slowing down of the Jewish International Crime Network, because the Jewish International Crime Network developed pre-modern technology, and it used people who are highly telepathic. A lot of these people who are highly telepathic, like the nighttime stalking experts who stalk people in their sleep and all this kind of stuff, they work on the presumption that they're not going to be observed by anybody, and that doesn't work well in the modern security state with cameras running real time all the time and recording everything, and now we have the prevalence of thermal imaging cameras that can even look at the footprints of a person walking through. That all this really slows down the Jewish International Crime Network, which developed when all that was, not even an idea, it didn't exist. But now this technology is there, and it's restricting the ability of the Jewish Crime Network experts to do their thing, whether it be stalking people, harassing people, trying to set people up for blackmail, all that kind of stuff. It's slowing it down, and the gang stalking was intended to create a grassroots army of highly educated, highly motivated go-getters who will try to stop the surveillance state with the mistaken belief that the government's involved in all this, when really it's just this Jewish crime network who's involved in gang stalking the people. So it's pretty well done. And also, the Jewish crime network wants to create something that's really difficult to create. And this is 1 in 1,000 or 1 in multiple thousands, and that's a true believer. The Jews want to see if they can get some true believers in this who will really fight, really organize things, and really, make a difference in fighting the New World Order. That's what they want to see. They want to fabricate true believers. And a true believer will sacrifice anything in their life in order to obtain their goal, whatever it may be. And those are very rare people. But the chance of you getting one of those rare people is greatly increased if the pool you pick from is already full of exceptional go-getters. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that rare gem who will become a true believer and fight the New World Order. The New World Order is kind of the enemy of the Jewish crime network that I'm talking about. But most of us nowadays are, due to the Jewish crime network alternative media, we're very familiar with the new concept of New World Order, that's kind of dominated the Western governments since the 1800s and has really taken off quickly since the end of World War II, and then after the Cold War, George Bush, Senior and Junior, Bill Clinton, Obama. I mean, it's really accelerated, and the New World Order is the enemy of the Jewish crime network. But they're both kind of different sides of the same coin. But that's a subject that's another subject of another video. But anyway, I want to go over this and give people information on what they're actually trying to do with the gang stalking program. They're trying to create, the Jewish International Crime Network is trying to create a grassroots army of highly intelligent, highly motivated people who will object to the surveillance state that's being implemented within the modern Western world, and kind of put brakes on it and regulate it so that it's not as much of a threat as in the future as it's been in recent history. And they're trying to create some true believers who will lead the fight against the New World Order, because the Jewish crime network is having difficulty with their own people being effective in doing that. So they're kind of recruiting people from outside their crime network to do this, because they have difficulty with their own people doing it. But anyway, that's enough for right now.